Hi, this is Jeanine Jue. I'm Head of Developer Evangelism at Samsung ARTIK Cloud, and welcome. In this tutorial, I'm going to give you an overview of the Ultimate IoT Challenge with Hackster, as well as an overview of ARTIK Cloud. So let's get started. First, register for the challenge at hackster.io/challenges/ARTIK Cloud. We are offering many chances to win prizes. We have our ARTIK Cloud Bounty, where we choose 2 winners a week up until September 30th. So what you need to do is sign up with ARTIK Cloud, go to the developer site and create a new device type. Then you go to the user portal. As a user, use this device type to create a new device. Then at that point, follow additional instructions on Hackster in order to submit your solution. We also have the ARTIK Cloud Challenge. This is where you're going to build a new, innovative Internet of Things application using the ARTIK Cloud, which connects 2 or more devices or cloud services from our Works with Cloud list or Most Wanted list. You need to have at least one rule to create a smart interaction between the devices and our cloud services. And there's a couple of pages where you can reference for devices and cloud services. If you go to our Works With page, as well as our Most Wanted Devices page. Now, if there's a device or cloud service that's not listed on those lists, feel free to email me at developer@artik.cloud, and we'll see if we can add your device or cloud service to our lists. So let's get started now with ARTIK Cloud. What is ARTIK Cloud? ARTIK Cloud is an open data exchange platform for the Internet of Things. And so this platform is designed to accelerate device interoperability and enable new data insights. So we have some great APIs and SDKs in order for you to build these connections between applications, devices, and clouds. You can write rules that trigger device commands. We have an amazing rules engine, which is referred to as our IFTTT on steroids. It's really incredible. But you can connect any device and any cloud service. So we are device agnostic. I can connect my Samsung devices as well as my non-Samsung devices, and that's what makes it really powerful. We have enterprise-grade security and scalability, as well as built-in privacy management. And when I say you can connect everything, you can connect everything, hence the interoperability of things. If you want to build a home security solution, something for the smart homes, if you want to build a solution for smart cities, as well as a smart building app, industrial Internet of Things is really gaining a lot of traction. We just sponsored a hackathon a couple of weeks ago where developers were building these great Internet of Things solutions for the industrial services, and it's just incredible what you can do. So there are no limits in terms of what you can connect and what IoT solutions you can build utilizing our platform. First, let's go through some of the definitions. All right, so we have messages, we have device manifest, we have device types and devices, as well as rules and cloud connectors. So there are 2 types of messages. Data is stored in ARTIK Cloud in a message. ARTIK Cloud recognizes 2 message types. One that carries only data, and the other carries actions for devices. As you can see here, here's the payload for our data and the payload for our actions message. An action is a specific type of message that sends a command to a device. So for example, if you want to turn a device on and off, or if you want to set text or changing a color value, these actions are defined in the manifest, and they're sent and executed in near real time. So what we'll do, we'll go through manifests in a couple of slides. For the manifest, we use this to interpret the content so it can be stored properly and sent to devices correctly. So when you define or update a device type, you want to provide a manifest that describes the device data. So once you define the manifest for your device type, ARTIK Cloud can make its data available to other services and devices. If you go on our developer portal, when you create a device type, at that point, you can create a manifest. This is what we refer to as a simple manifest, utilizing our UI. Now, if you want to create an advanced manifest, there are restrictions on our website where you want to create a Groovy script and then submit that Groovy script for approval by our team. So we have two things. We have devices, and then we have device types. A device type is, let's say, my Samsung Gear Fit. That's a type that has its own device manifest to tell me, what the format, what kind of content is that I can get out of the data. And you also have a device. So if you go to the user portal, you can connect your device to the user portal. So the device type is Samsung Gear, but the user's device, my device, is Jeanine Samsung Gear. It's really important to understand the difference between a device and a device type when developing using the ARTIK Cloud. Okay, our rules engine, as I mentioned before, our rules engine is like if then this that on steroids, right? You can connect many to many and create incredible interactions. So the rules, it's a way to trigger device actions based on the ARTIK Cloud messages. So take a look at some of the examples there. So let's say I have a motion sensor connected to the cloud. I have a light connected to a cloud. Well, I'm going to create a rule that when there's motion detected, then I want my lights to turn on. Okay, that's an example of one of many rules that you can build to create these smart interactions between devices. Cloud connectors. So as you know, the cloud can accept data. The ARTIK Cloud can accept data from any device, but some devices already send data to a third-party cloud. For example, my Fitbit. Fitbit has its own cloud. So what I can do is connect Fitbit to ARTIK Cloud. So the engineering team built out this amazing infrastructure called cloud connectors that enable you to connect the third-party cloud to ARTIK Cloud. And then at that point, ARTIK Cloud can retrieve the device's data sent to that cloud. Now, if you want to connect a third-party cloud, let's say that's not on our list, in order to see if you can build out that cloud connector, that third-party cloud must use OAuth 1 or 2. It must have an open API and also some APIs where there's subscription notifications. So ARTIK Cloud can know if there's any new data that needs to be pulled in. So let's go through some of our cloud tools. I'd like to give you an overview of our user portal, an overview of our developer dashboard, the API console, as well as the device simulator. So here is our user portal, artik.cloud. Here, I've already set up an account, and please keep in mind that your account can be used on ARTIK Cloud as well as developer.artik.cloud. So I go to My ARTIK Cloud. So as a user, I can add my devices to ARTIK Cloud. I can create rules using this amazing UI, so I can have these smart interactions between devices. There's charts, so I can actually look at my data logs, so you can inspect some of the data being produced, and exports. I can take all that data and download it in JSON or a CSV file format. Go to my devices. So look, I have my weather map connected. I threw in Twitter. I'm going to do something with that. Now I just created my Fitbit device. I just added my Fitbit device. So notice how it says authorize, right? So this is where I'm going to authorize for ARTIK Cloud to have access to my Fitbit data. Then we also have my Samsung Gear. So these are my devices. So I can create rules. It has a great UI to do this. Schedule a time to run, choose device activity to monitor, send actions to your devices, as well as describe your rule. Create multiple rules. There are amazing charts. I can select up to 20 charts to display certain data points I'm interested in, whether it be on my Fitbit, my weight, number of calories I burned, and number of floors, all that great stuff. And then we also have our data logs, and you can actually show the messages by individual devices, or you can show all of them. In the data exports, this is what's really cool, how you can take all that data and you can export it in a JSON format or a CSV file. Now let's take a look at the developer dashboard. Here's my dashboard. Notice how I'm at developer.artik.cloud. Right? Now for the challenge, you need to create a new IoT app. Okay, so make sure under your dashboard you create a new application. As you can see, I already did that. Do new, test Exter, test. I'll just make up some redirect, save application. Loading permissions. This I want to keep private. You can set permissions for a device as well, but I want to keep my application private in the meantime, since I haven't added any device permissions. Alexa, I can have read-write access if I want to set it that way. We have the app info, and we also have any errors. Now if we go to our device types, this is what you'll need to do for the bounty. When you create a new device type, as you can see, I created one for Sammy. You create a new device type. Let's say I'm going to build my own watch. All right, Jeanine watch. I'm going to create my own device type. Now look, this is where I'll want to create a new manifest. Okay, so there were two ways of doing it. Right? We can do the simple manifest, which you can do through the UI, or you can do the advanced manifest, which will require you to write a Groovy script, which again, for the advanced manifest, you'll need to get it approved. So we respond fairly quickly on approvals for that. Now let's go back to our documentation. Earlier in this tutorial, I already went through some of the basics. I highly recommend you read up in more detail about the authorizations. And for the hello world, definitely go through this tutorial. And in my next tutorial, I'll go through this with you step by step. You want to log into My ARTIK Cloud. Now, when you see My ARTIK Cloud, please keep in mind that's for the user portal at artik.cloud. You want to get an access token. And this is where you'll get a great sample of utilizing the device simulator and how you can list the devices and running that as well. And this tutorial also goes through a simulation of sending data to ARTIK Cloud. Now for our manifest tutorial, this actually covers the advanced manifest if you're interested in learning about creating the advanced manifest, writing that Groovy script. We have connecting our data. And this is where, if you want to learn more about cloud connectors, this will be here, or develop rules for devices. This goes through our rules API. Now for some of the tools that will be really helpful in your development efforts, you'll want to go to our API console. This is where you can see our APIs in action. So if you go to developer.artik.cloud/API console, here you can see all the methods. You can expand it, you can try it out. It'll give you the JSON responses, devices, device type, messages, as well as our rules, creating a rule, adding the parameters there and giving you the JSON response for that as well. Now, another cool thing I'd like to show you is the device simulator. I've received a few questions about the device simulator in terms of how to run it. So I'm going to go through just running the device simulator, and I think the confusion was with getting the user token. Let me go to terminal and go to terminal. Now here you need to download the device simulator. And please make note of the JDK version that we've used for testing here. Okay, I have it right in the right folder. Now, when you run this, you'll need to get the user token. Okay, I think this is where the confusion was. When you get the user token, you'll go back to your API console. Now, remember when I said get and try it, get the current user profile? You'll want to get this token. Then you will put it back. And congratulations, you're now connected. And if I want to see a list of devices for that particular user, I'll want to do LD. See, I have my Fitbit there. I have Amazon Alexa, my Amazon Dash button, as well as my Samsung Gear. In the next tutorial, we'll go through this in more detail in terms of how to simulate data. Now we also have our Works With page. Our Works With page lists all devices and services that work with ARTIK Cloud, which we have verified. Right? So as you can see here, Fitbit. Now, Fitbit is listed as a cloud service because you're connecting to the Fitbit cloud. You're not connecting to the device. We also have SmartThings, Pebble, and for further instructions on the user portal side for connecting Fitbit to ARTIK Cloud, if you click here, it provides you with a great step-by-step instructions in order to do that, as well as a blog post breaking it down in more detail. We also have our Most Wanted page. So if you go to Cloud Challenge Most Wanted Devices, this is really exciting. These are the devices that we have not tested out yet. And so this is a challenge for you. If there's a device here or service that you find that you could potentially use in your solution, that would be great. And we'd love to hear about it. If there are also other devices and services you don't see on these lists that you want to incorporate in your solution, please email us at developer@artik.cloud, and we're more than happy to check it out and see if we can add it to our list. And one more thing I want to go through are the tutorials. What's really helpful here, your first IoT device, your first cloud connector. If you're interested in creating advanced manifest examples, then go through there. And also check out our sample code. We have some great sample code, Android, Node. And remember, our SDKs are posted here. Okay, so again, here are some tutorials to start with. The Hello World, which I'm going to cover in our next tutorial. Your first IoT device, as well as some of your first apps, your first Android app and your first application. I believe that's in PHP. Definitely check out our blogs. We have some great articles and tutorials on our blogs. And our most recent blog, which was written by our evangelist Jeanine, talks about some of the, it's an FAQ blog, so it'll answer some questions you may have. Now, feel free to contact me at developer@artik.cloud. Definitely check out our forums and sign up for our newsletter. If there's anything you want to add to the content on our site, if you have any feedback, or if there are any tutorials in general that you're looking for, please reach out to me. We would love to get the feedback and get a better feel for how we can help you be successful in this Hackster Challenge. So stay tuned for upcoming videos, and thank you so much for watching, and good luck. Keep calm and love IoT. Happy coding.